Hello everyone, welcome back to Voidheart Studios, and this week we have another nostalgia review. That is where I, in the modern year of Space Year 2025, review a blaster that is older than dirt. Well, not really, but this is just a series where I review old blasters in the modern day, and today's old blaster is the Nerf N-Strike Vulcan EBF-25. That's standing for Electronic Belt-Fed 25 rounds. Yep, this guy is a sick-looking blaster. This is the Vulcan. It is a Nerf heavy machine gun turret, and it is absolutely awesome. This was actually the first ever motorized blaster to be made by Nerf in general. Like, this was the first ever motorized blaster in the space. It was made by Nerf, it was made by Hasbro under the N-Strike series. And it is an AEB, or electronic springer, or auto springer, for those uninitiated. Essentially, it is a electronically controlled motorized springer. So, unlike most springers, where, you know, you're always having to prime, back, and fire, this blaster does it for you. But this blaster does have a sort of fail-safe, to where if your batteries die or something like that, it is also bolt action prime, so you can fire it manually just in case, like, your batteries die or something. But you want to keep some good batteries in this thing, which can be hard, especially considering what batteries it takes. Up at the front is the muzzle. It does not have an N-Strike barrel lug. It doesn't need an N-Strike barrel lug. I mean, you've already got this much badass in this small package. Do you need an extended barrel? Up top here is the folding front sight to correspond to the notched rear sight, which you kind of have to hold up the handle to see. I don't know why those are there, it's weird. I mean, I guess if you want to, you know, take the handle off, but why would you want to do that? Up at the front here are two side-mounted N-Strike tactical rails and one top-mounted N-Strike tactical rail for, you know, just in case you want to mount your N-Strike sniper scope on your LMG, no, HMG. Down here is a nice little front grip. It's ergonomically wacky to hold it like this, but it's nice. Usually I just have to hold it down here if I'm not, you know, grabbing it by the top handle to do my spray and pray. Yeah. Back here we have the ammo box, which is removable. So, you know, if you have a bunch of these filled up with Vulcan chains, you can, of course, just slap this into place on the side if you're reloading, or you can just reload the chains directly into there. And which, how you do that is you just take your chain, nicely kind of drop it into the box, and lay the first link, that little dummy round, onto the rotation mechanism, close the ammo box door, close the loading port door, and that door will stay locked now, and this lock is actually now engaging the electronic system, so now this thing can fire electronically. Of course, you can also still fire manually, and the chain will still, you know, index. But we know what you're here for. See this little switch? on top of the trigger, on top of the grip. Usually it has a little thing to cover it up. Mine didn't. I got it pre-owned. And if you hit that button and make sure this is in all the way. This, you have you have just witnessed peak full auto foam flinging circa 2008. 2008. This sucker released when I was 3. I'm still older. Yeah. On the underside here, this big orange and gray piece is the, oh, if you can see it, this orange and gray piece here, you take it off and it's the battery door, and then you can get to the battery tray, which comes out and stores the most expensive part of maintaining this blaster, your 6D batteries. 6 Ds to run this blaster. That gets expensive quick, especially in the modern days of Space Year 2025, where, you know, 6D batteries of most reputable brands can run you almost $20. But that's why you have Amazon Basics. This video is not sponsored, I just really love Amazon Basics batteries. I know Amazon is like the center of the, you know, capitalist problem, but these batteries, these Amazon Basics batteries, they are cheaper than dirt, and they will last you forever. I need a waste of payday and get a good little stockpile of Amazon Basics batteries to run all my battery-powered blasters, you know, that run on cell batteries. But yeah, this takes 6D batteries, not C, D. Don't make the same mistake I did when I first bought this blaster. D. 6D. Not 6C, 6D. Now, if you thought this blaster already couldn't get more badass, see this little round thingy on the bottom? It's kind of weird. Oh yeah. It's just for attaching the included tripod. Let me see if I can get this thing on here. It's finicky and you gotta finagle with it. But yeah! It's a finagly little douche, but if you can get it to lock in here, you have an included tripod. A tripod-mounted, chain-fed, electronic spring-powered Gatling blaster. Hasbro was making their first ever electronic blaster, and you know what they said? They said go big or go home. They went huge with this blaster. Now, is it still kicking in Space Year 2025? I'm not even sure I'm using the term Space Year properly, but Vulcan uses it all the time. Well, it's time to take this puppy outside and find out. Hello everyone, we're out on the range today, and yeah, you're on this side of me, just so you can see, you know, chain ejecting. And yeah, I've got a little table and chair set up here because tripod mounted turret. Why not? Up first, we've got some Nerf End Strike micro darts. These are the type of darts that you would fire out of the Vulcan back in its prime in 2008. Alright, we are loaded, we are primed, and I'll do a few spring shots, you know, just normal priming hits, and ooh, that breeze is nice. That's boring, isn't it? Alright. There's our micro darts done. And now I'm going to run us through some X-Shot air pocket darts. Alright. 3, 2, 1, let her rip. Skip one? No, it went through the entire chain. Seemed like I didn't fire one. Yeah? That's the Vulcan. Can you see the appeal now? Just ejecting belt, chain, whatever you want to call it. I say chain. Heavy machine turret, tripod mounted, or handheld if you so desire. Get you end strike range, decent accuracy. It's a spray weapon, you don't need good accuracy. Fun little automatic springer. Only real big downside is 6D batteries and the fact that it's discontinued. Anyways, I'll talk more about that in my chronograph readings and final thoughts when I go inside. And I shall do that once I clean up all of my dirts and return my table. Alright, we're back. And so, to gauge the muzzle velocity as if it matters, I ran this blaster up onto my chronograph and achieved an average velocity of 44 feet per second. Oh, yeah. Alright, hold on. And here's my chronograph. Isn't it cute? Little goober guy. I need to stick like some googly eyes on it, or like one of those like weird anime faces. Anyways, this one will also calculate rate of fire if it gets enough consistent feeds. So it got an average rate of fire of about 3 rounds per second, which is what was advertised when it first released. It is a bit slow in terms of rate of fire, especially compared to certain flywheelers like my Omnia here, which calcs in at about almost 7 rounds per second, but this is meant to have high rate of fire for pro stuff. This is meant to be a big giant F-all machine gun for just the purpose of that being a big F-all machine gun. So, yeah. Isn't glorious. The Vulcan. I really love this blaster. There's nothing I can really say negative about this blaster. I mean, in terms of its negatives, yeah, it's a bit low on the FPS, but it can compete with other stock blasters. So, like, I mean, yeah, it's going to get immediately outgunned if you put it up against, like, an Omnia or a Fury or the new X-Shot piston pump that's going to come out eventually whenever Walmart and Target decide to carry it. And the added functionality of being manual prime on top of the, you know, good old-fashioned full auto is great. So, like, if you're in a battle and your batteries go dead, you can still operate the blaster. It is a dual function blaster of sorts. So it is definitely a blaster of its time. Does it deserve to be lost into the sea of obscurity like a lot of other old school blasters? No, absolutely not. This blaster is way too fun to be cast into the depths of the sea of obscurity. This is just an insanely fun blaster, and if you can find it for a good price, a good $20, $40, get yourself a Vulcan. Get yourself a couple of chains. Trust me, it'll be one of your favorite choices, especially if you like to plink at short ranges. And so, I'm getting distracted. Sorry. Yeah, overall, great blaster, great purchase decision. Yeah, honestly, if you can find it for a good price on the aftermarket market, I would say go and pick you up a Vulcan and a few chains, just so you can experience for yourself the glory and amazingness of this blaster, because oh my god, the old Nerf AEBs were something else. I need to get around to reviewing my Swarmfire at some point, because I also really love my Swarmfire. And yeah, that is my review of the Nerf Vulcan EBF-25. And if you did enjoy this video, then please do leave a like, subscribe, the algorithm nonsense, and comment your favorite old school Nerf AEB. Is it the Vulcan, is it the Stampede, the Swarmfire, or the Speed Swarm? Comment that down below, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye!